just admit it. We all know why you're here. It's for a brand new isekai fantasy elements to it, and that's all. I have been informed that obviously the files I was watching might not have been the Blu-ray copy, and there's some extra scenes, some more animation, slight changes. So we'll be moving over to that. I hope you'll be looking forward to it. But let's continue on with Mushoku Tensei. You know, not only teaching him the ways of magic, getting a really fast track of life, but overcoming the trauma from what we saw before of his past life. Come in the sight. That's a healthy relationship. Far away from the house, you say? Giving us time alone, you say? You know, acting like a normal, healthy child and evaluating your surroundings. Or two. You see, some of these things are actually relatively good advice. Be kind, okay? I feel like certain lessons may have been misplaced. But also, with the teachings of a relatively calm, rural life, last all too long when tested. Actually reaching out to him, saying, greeting him. He's not taking it with like scorn or anything like that. And we haven't had like an opening song OP experience so far. Is this like a replacement? You know, I actually have a fair few wooded areas and the like around here. Not quite as vast or seemingly nice to just lay about in. And what are the other friendships and people he will be meeting along the way? Something that he would relate to there on levels. With his level of water magic, That's some major level dodging you've got there. Someone fighting back. Not completely helpless. Where's the fun in that? Is it getting a rise out of him? Well, after being kind of into the same kind of situation before. You know, search for that the gem. I guess it's fine. If you do find yourselves in a fantasy world with the likes of various races and what which we don't have, would you be instantly wary of them, or just quite intrigued? Not an existence you've really come across too much. Well, kids dumb anyway. The slightest of differences can be a factor to pick up on. Like you'll really... His status will really change all too much from where it is currently. Just need some confidence. Really getting some alternate motivations for being a friend. And the fun thing is, that's where the beginnings of misunderstanding and doesn't get cleared up. Both in the previous world and this one. Possibly. You're willing to teach after only just graduating? You know how difficult it is to actually move your ears. And walking them home. They couldn't have been found that quickly. When did that happen? Yep, not listening for the actual happenings of the occasion. Wow, a kid speaking up to you like that. Now, I remember that. The moment when you are in the right and there's a moment where you actually have to stand your ground. As long as you do actually have truth behind you. Yeah, you don't deserve to know what happened now. You've taught me well. Telling the story of what happened there while calling him out. This is not something a child of his age would be able to do. Especially with that look of calm composure. Unfortunately, even if you are fully in the right, there is a limit of what you're able to say and get away with. And why would he throw a punch? Well, because he has the excess strength and power there. And then scold him when he tries to enact that teaching. Yeah. Wise beyond his years. The thing is, how we live now, it's not too troublesome, too much of an issue. There's loads of ways you can communicate, but in a world where you can just leave and not see your family, very good, actual good use for wind magic. You know, for only 6 months getting to that level. Just heat it up. It's something that not even his deity managed to accomplish. Think of a way to explain it. You know, he did it through feeling before, didn't it? I think... Has everyone gone through the stage where it's like... Yep, yeah, I can make fire. There's a veritable genius there. And is it now going to go through the stage where he did as well? Getting excited about the new the new magic they've accomplished and ran out. Still, to run through an entire field like that must be nice. How can people be naturally beautiful? That's not fair for everyone else. Excuse me. Couldn't Rudy create some sort of magic barrier to keep the rain off? Just get in the bath. What's the issue? There's nothing questionable. This is definitely a learning opportunity for him. Has anyone actually completely misjudged the gender of someone like that? I mean, I don't think many people actually forcefully undress someone, even if you think they are a guy. I'm listening to that and seeing his character as Gintoki. So, well, maybe now you understand the situation. Short sword, was it? Yeah, what do you say in this situation if you just walk in? So there's a bath there. What's going on? And how his friendship there may have just flown off the rails. Yeah. Giving the father a bit of a chance to grow there. No one's just an amazing parent off the bat. There's going to be moments where you make mistakes, but learning from it like this, he didn't understand the gravity. Sylphiet. Actually wait for the entire name next time. Yeah, it would be an incredibly awkward and embarrassing situation. Not one that could be easily just forgotten, but that's going to make her feel better. You're an idiot. He takes after his father. What was that animation for his laugh at him? But bad thing comes in clusters. That's going a bit far, isn't it? I mean, no one is perfect 100% of the time, but also, I don't believe everyone just accidentally derobes people. Is this... This feels like it could be good advice. You don't have to put up a strong front all the time and be a man kind of thing, but it also seems a little shady. There we go, with that face. Look who's come for a visit. If she's there, willing to at least talk. Coming on a bit strong. How adult of her. And now let's, that statement from earlier about the childhood friend and what he would do. All's well that ends well. I was questioning that myself. Nothing like a little emotional manipulation. Words are difficult. But in the course of one episode, you've explored the further reaches of the village, come across some more people, stood up for the weak, found a new friend, immediately ruined that friendship. But for a character like with 6 months training of learning magic, not really picking it up before, and he managed to teach her the chantless incantation. Maybe there's a future in being a teacher. Emergency. Now, I can see that this episode could cause a bit of a stir, but ultimately, if you take the lessons from it and what it was actually trying to impart rather than just a knee-jerk reaction, part of the issue is that Rudy, he made his first friend. First being quite a large part of it. Didn't really take the time to learn all too much about his friend if they've been talking in one-off for over 6 months and closely teaching her. No, I know, Japanese doesn't have easily recognisable pronouns like he or she. But I think we saw Rudy walk her home to the house and saw the parents, so at least might have had a conversation with them at some point. nothing ever came up. But also, the father really taking his own lesson there. You know, it being this figure of importance and power. You know, do what you can to protect the weak, always be an upstanding citizen, and yet, when confronted with the consequences of those actions and that sense of moral, whether it justified or not, where did someone get that, well, rather bright shining eye? When you do have a sense of being correct in what you're saying, you do have a bit more confidence, but I don't believe a child of his age would be able to be so eloquent in his rebuttal to the father, especially after just being hit. It is quite good that, it's good that you've got more of an adult brain kind of funneling the intent with his words. Just a shame it had to be Sugata. And on the day that he gets to tell his family that he made a new friend as well. But once again, this series really gives off the visuals of what we're seeing. The animation, although not all the animation, I remember certain parts, like when the dad was laughing, that was kind of creepy actually. But when it comes to magic or the backgrounds, it looked pretty good. But also as like a slow burn into the world. We don't know a lot about the world so far. Just it has magic. He's out in the countryside. There are beings like demons and elves. As a kid, we're exploring it with him. But I know that certain things come bounding down on us quickly. And the limit of my knowledge of what actually happens in the story isn't too far away. But also, I think if we were actually in a world like this and had the ability to cast, say, elementary level magic, I think we would start with things like hairdryers or just making a warm bath. The luxuries that we afford ourselves here, we don't really have access to electricity. Might be difficult to make a microwave, though. There's a lot to see, a lot to do, and there's more on the way. If you enjoyed this one, let me know. But for now, give yourselves a bit of rest. Maybe subscribe to the channel. But I will see you, nice and clean after our baths, in the next episode. Unfortunately for me, my patrons have stripped me down to bare all, and there's not too much that I can be angry about. And so if you want to take a dip in the big bathtub that would be my channel, consider joining onto my Patreon as well. So, to the likes of Electricant, Noku, Raywin, Kite, Sal, Shiwan, Matt, Stinsfire, Gurley, Sortitron Cardboard, Croyville, Jennifer Rojas, Alvin Garcia Santiago, D. Firo, Dark Shadow 7899, Defender of Segs, and everyone else. Actually, I think we're going to need a bigger bath.